I'm going to make some candied nuts, which are one of my favorite little snacks to have out in a dish for when you have company coming over. And they're really, really simple to do. You have to cook some sugar, but don't be intimidated by that. I'm going to show you a real simple way to get this done. So I'm going to start by putting just some sugar in the bottom of my little pan here, and then I'm going to mix it with water. Now, the amount of sugar in water really doesn't matter. You just need to dissolve the sugar, and you're going to end up cooking all that water back out. I'll go ahead and stir these together just to make sure that they're combined. And then I'm going to start cooking. You can cook it on high as long as you're going to be nearby. So we're going to cook this until it gets to the softball stage, which is like 238 to 240 degrees. But I'm not going to get a candy thermometer to show this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do an ice water test. I'm going to take about 7 ounces walnuts, and I'm going to toast them. Now, when I say toasting nuts, I mean I'm just going to put them into a dry pan. I'm not going to have any oil or water or anything in them. And I'm going to toss them, every so often until they deepen in color and you can smell them. What this does is it really makes them a little more crisp, and it makes them just have a better taste altogether. So we'll go ahead and toast those while the sugar is cooking. Now, pretty interesting. It looks like boiling water when the sugar just starts to cook, because it kind of is. And once all the water evaporates, once it gets past 212, you're going to see it kind of slow down. The bubbles are going to come up a little bit more slow and random in size, and you'll really be able to tell that it's time to start testing the sugar. Now, when it comes to cooking sugar, there's a couple things you don't want to do. Well, one of the things you really don't want to do is stir it. Because if you stir it, what's going to happen is it's going to want to return back to the crystals, to the sugar crystals that they originated as. But the thing is while this sugar's cooking, we're not going to stir it. But when we put the nuts in, we are going to stir it, because this is one time when that is the desired effect. We want this cooked sugar to turn back into like crystals of sugar and end up coating these nuts. If you wait until the bubbles start to become more random in size and slow down a little bit, then you'll really know when it's time to start testing your sugar here, which I think we're pretty much getting close to our softball stage. So I'll scoop a little, submerge it in my ice water, and as you can see, it really clings to the spoon. Now, when I go to pull it off the spoon, it's going to form into a soft, pliable ball. And this is where you really want to be careful. You want to make sure that you've completely cooled this sugar before you start to handle it, because it's really sticky, and it's a lot hotter than even boiling water is. As you can see here, I have a little soft ball that I can squish with my fingers. Well, that's our sugar cooked to the proper temperature without the use of a thermometer. I'll just drop that right back in, and it'll melt right into my sugar here. Then I'll go ahead and take my toasted walnuts, and I'll put them in the pot with the sugar. It's going to take a little bit, but I'm going to stir these around, and when I'm through stirring them, you'll see that you've got candy coated almonds. A little pinch of salt is going to help, and I'll put a little shake of allspice in there. This could be anything, even cayenne pepper. A lot of folks like that sweet and spicy mix. So we'll stir here, and as we stir, you'll see the nuts look like the wet ice cream topping nuts for a little bit. But as you keep agitating this sugar and stirring them, you'll see we'll end up with some candy-coated nuts, which are just really nice to put out in a bowl for New Year's Eve party or a Christmas party. And when they're all coated, we'll just dump them out onto this nice silpat. It could be parchment paper or even just the counter. And there we have very, very easy candied walnuts in about 10 minutes.